This is a digital multimeter, or DMM for short. It is used for measuring various physical quantities. The quantities measured you can figure out from reading this dial. So starting here, we see the symbol for V, volts. That's voltage. Hertz is frequency. There's another symbol for volts. There's a difference between the two of them though. This one is for direct current. This one is for alternating current. Then this part is amps for current, and this is direct current, amps for alternating current. This measures capacitance, resistance, and temperature. So in the labs, you will measure various quantities using up to 2 DMMs. In the first lab, you will use one for measuring voltage and one for measuring current. So to do that, you will have to plug in cables, and the cables we're using are banana cables. That's what fits in these plugs over here. So one plug is the common or the ground, so we plug in one cable here, and then depending on what else we're measuring, we use one of the other plugs. So if we're measuring voltage, resistance or frequency, we're not going to use temperature at all, then we're going to plug the other banana cable in here. And then, so let's say that we're measuring voltage, so we're going to go to the dial and turn this to the volts mode. Now, in the first lab, the maximum voltage that we can get is 3 volts because we're using two 1.5 volt batteries. So we should turn the dial to a voltage that's just a little bit higher than what the battery gives off. If we put it at 400 millivolts over here, we're not going to be able to measure the voltage because the meter doesn't go that high. If we're measuring resistance, then we're going to turn the dial to the resistance. And then I'm going to turn this off while I'm unplugging it. Now, to measure current, we have to look at down here. So this says 10 amps, this says milliamps or microamps. So we're going to plug this into the 10 amp if we're using that scale. And looking back at the dial, the only place we see 10 amp is over here. So we'll have to turn this, to the 10 amp mode. I'm going to turn it off again. If I'm using milliamps or microamps, I'm going to plug the cable here and then go to anywhere here. So any of these work, depending on how high your current in the circuit is. Make sure that you're picking a value on a scale that's a little bit higher than the value of the current that you're measuring. So this is pretty much all that you're going to be using the DMM for.